everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're bringing back the What I've Been Reading segment. I picked up The Night Blooms Behind Castle Walls and Kowloon Generic Romance. Very excited to share my thoughts on these. Obviously, it's kind of funny to see both books with the size difference on the trims here. Let's start with The Night Blooms Behind Castle Walls. This is published by Seven Seas Entertainment, and this story is written and drawn by Masanari Yuzuka. I hope I said that right. And it tells the story of Rosa, and yeah, I am gonna go with the Spanish pronunciation. It just makes sense in my head. Rosa is living in, I assume, medieval Europe, and she has the dream of becoming a knight. Now, she's a young girl. Unfortunately, you can't just become a knight right away, and she has to climb up the ranks and start out as a squire. Now, it's going to be tough because she has to mend the stables and help with the horses and help with the kitchen and the cooking, help with the cleaning, and maybe work with firewood and laundry. All these things are arduous labor that is given to squires. Of course, it builds character, I guess, and it's sort of the first stepping stone into potentially maybe becoming a knight down the line. I really enjoyed this series. Unfortunately, it ended back in 2021, I believe, for a total of 35 chapters, so that should be around 3 volumes. It's pretty cool because it's a nice, concise story. This first volume here has 9 chapters, if memory serves me right, and of course a couple extra bonuses sprinkled throughout. I really enjoy Rosa's determination. I like that she has the attitude, she has the spunk and the drive to move forward. She values what she's doing, and she faces every challenge that's given to her with determination. And that's always something that I like reading. I love characters like this, so I'm hoping that her dream does come true. Rosa is not originally from that castle. She's from another one, and now she's living there and she's befriending other knights, and they're giving her important lessons. It's all very nice and wholesome, and I want more of that. So yeah, I am totally looking forward to The Night Blooms Behind Castle Walls Volume 2. The art on The Night Blooms Behind Castle Walls is breathtaking. I love the contrast between the manga looking characters and then the highly detailed backgrounds with the castle, the walls, the tables, the instruments, the artifacts that they're using, the animals, and just the clothing and the people living there. It really makes you feel like you're watching like a snapshot, a window in time of medieval Europe. I like that the book has little corners throughout where the author explains how certain things work, like for example how a candle is made and how you light it up and all that stuff. All that trivia really does help immerse yourself in that world, and it helps with the smaller scale world building that's happening. Also worth noting before I move on to the other book is that Masanari Yuzuka worked as an assistant for Hiromu Arakawa on Full Metal Alchemist, and you kind of see some of that sprinkled throughout, especially with the characters and how they interact. There are a lot of comedic moments, but just the overall facial expressions, it kind of reminded me of Full Metal Alchemist, so that was a big plus in my opinion. Okay, moving on, we got the second book here, and it is Kowloon Generic Romance. I hope I pronounced that correctly. This is by Yen Press, and it is a story written by Jun Mayuzuki. Of course, the art as well, drawn by her. And this is a very interesting manga. This takes place in the Kowloon walled city from back in the day, which was this rogue city living off the southern border of the actual city of Kowloon. It was sort of lawless and independent and sort of a dystopian townscape, if you will. In it, we follow the character of Reiko Kujirai and Hajime Kudo. These two characters are real estate agents working in a small office with their boss. They have a blooming relationship. They tease each other, befriend each other, share jokes and drinks and food, and work really well together. Reiko lives alone in her apartment. She is forgetful of certain things, and that's explained further along as you read. And she has this quirky habit of smoking and eating watermelon, which for the life of me, I can't understand why someone would find that satisfying, but apparently she does. And I really enjoy her growing relationship with Kudo. He has this rough exterior, and as you read more into him and you see his actions, you know that he's kind of a softie inside in some occasions. There is an element that's almost sci-fi-ish that I'm probably spoiling, and I don't mean to, but I have to point it out. And really, how these characters interact with each other and the city was compelling. There is the romance aspect, and you also have the slice of life elements. They all sort of mix together by the end of the first volume, and they leave you with a really interesting hook that will immediately make you want to pick up volume 2. Also, I haven't talked about the art, so let me just gush about that, because holy crap, Maizuki just crushes this. I like the contrast of the character design with the realism of this dystopian walled city. It looks fantastic. The opening chapter to this story is one of my favorites in a long time. I love the silent pan as Reiko is waking up and she's getting ready to work, and it's a brand new day, and you see the cigarette and all that and her apartment building, and it eventually pulls out as she's in the balcony, and you see the impressive architecture at work here with the walled city and how claustrophobic it all is. The history of Kowloon is pretty interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing if the manga continues exploring that while also dealing with the characters and their dilemma. I love the relationship between Reiko and Hajime. There's a romance brewing, but there's more to it than that, and I don't want to spoil it. Hopefully I've piqued your interest into checking out Kowloon generic romance. I think it's worth your time. I could go more in depth. I probably did not do this any justice whatsoever. Maybe once I'm caught up, I can come back and do a little video essay on the series and spoil some things and all that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that, but hopefully you enjoyed this first impression on this manga. So that's going to be it. I think I covered everything. I like both stories, totally different from each other. Wonderful art and great character work throughout, and just a nice sense of world building in really compact places. I hadn't noticed until making this video. One character is living in a confined space of a castle and the people living there. Then you have the other character living in another confined space as they're making their way through life and all that stuff. But what about yourselves? Have you read The Night Blooms Behind Castle Walls? Let me know in the comments section down below. Thank you so much everybody for checking this video out. I truly do appreciate it. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it. Share the video, helps out a ton. And before I wrap up, I wanted to mention something briefly here. If you're new to the channel, thank you so much. We recently had a boost in subscribers and all that stuff, and I am beyond thankful. I am super ecstatic about that. However, this isn't my main gig. This is just my main hobby. So if you see a weird gap between videos, I'm probably busy with stuff and haven't had the time to sit down and record something. But thankfully, you're watching this video, so yeah, that's great. I made it happen. So thank you once again. Truly appreciate it. I gotta go. God bless. Stay safe out there. I will catch all of you on our next video.